we are back in action, and we have decided to go ahead and start working in the foyer. I've got Amber here with me, so she's going to give a hand putting up crown. Sounds exciting, doesn't it, honey? Yesterday we got a bunch of stuff done in the family room and out in the office / solarium. And I say that tongue-in-cheek because Amber loves it when I call it the solarium. The foyer is a little bit of a challenge, dealing with all the odd angles and everything out here. But the nice thing is that we're really just working with some square corners to put up the crown molding. So I don't think it's going to be too bad. Famous last words, right? So let's take a look here and we can see exactly what we're dealing with. All right, so Amber's patiently waiting for me to get off of the camera so we can get to work. Huh, babe?
Yes.
Time's a wasting. So we're going to start here. It's got kind of, again, a strange angle in the ceiling there, but we're not going to run the crown around that corner. We'll actually just make it die into the corner. And then we'll have a long straight section going across here, come to a 90-ish corner, and we'll have a long straight stretch going across here to another 90-ish corner. And then we'll have a piece that comes over here, and then we'll just do a return on here and just make it die into the wall there. So it should not be too complicated, but we're gonna go ahead and cut a bunch of those nailers, those little cleats that would make out of 2x3, and get those up. That way we'll get a place to put everything, huh, babe?
Yep.
All right, let's get chopping. All right, so we got our first piece up here in the foyer, and it's looking good. We left this end loose, so we can do a little final positioning when we're ready for this coped end. Down here, we got this one nailed up tight. We used our little stubby piece to get that one fit, ready to go. Now we're making a piece to go across this door opening here. The tricky part is the sloped ceiling on this end. So we had to establish a line across the wall there. You can see there's several variations, but what we've done is kind of carried a line from that end over to the wall, and then we used our miter saw protractor to figure out what the angle of the ceiling is. It's not a 45, it's more like 49. So we had to use that protractor to figure that angle out. And now, with that line that we drew across the wall, I measured down from the ceiling, and now I've carried that mark over to the miter saw. A little mark there on the miter saw itself. I've got this set to, it was 48.5. Got that set to 48.5. And now I'm gonna draw a line across using my level here from side to side. That way we can put our crown up on the fence just like it's going to be against the ceiling, and then make that cut, and it should give us a good tight fit up against the ceiling there once we put it in place. That's the plan anyways.
You say so.
I can tell you're impressed.
No, I am.
All right, so we'll make this cut, and then we'll go ahead and cope the other end here with our trusty flat disc, and then hold it up there and see what it looks like, huh?
Yeah. All right, so Papa has shown up today. Thank you for your help, Papa. You're welcome. We're getting the third piece of crown up here in the foyer. Chris is having a little issue here in the corner. That wood was a little bent, wasn't it?
Yeah, sprung.
Yeah.
This way a little bit.
Okay. You have one more piece to go. That should be a fun one too.
All right, so we're down to our last piece here. And as you can see, this one is going to end right here with this piece of molding that's coming down from the upstairs. That's the edge of the staircase up there, or the edge of the hallway. So we're gonna have a cope joint on this end, and then this end is gonna come over and just kind of die into that piece of trim. I've already got that piece cut here. Here you can see the end of that 45, where our piece is gonna die back, and this is our coped end. And then there you can see the piece that we've cut to make it die back into the wall there. That's the return. So we're going to take and super glue that. Use our CA glue and glue that together. Of course, it'll line up a little bit better, and then we'll sand it. And then that guy will just tuck right up in against that piece of trim, right up against the wall there, and finish that off nicely. We got to put our nailers up first, and then we'll go ahead and get that glued and nailed in place.
Last piece going in. That looks really good. Do you need help getting it? Oh, you got it. Got some good moves.
You good, Dan? Yep, let her go.
Wow.
We all the way in over there.
Looks like it.
You're on the bottom. As far as
that looks spectacular.
How do you think it?
Uh-huh.
Finishes off nicely.
It does. Good job.
All right, we got the side piece up and it tucked in there nicely. Got a nice tight cope joint on this end. And then we've got our piece on this end with the return. And that tucked right up against this trim panel that comes down off of the upstairs. And so with a little bit of caulk around the end there, that thing is gonna look nice. So that's gonna do it for the crown molding out in the foyer. Glad to get that done. Trickiest piece was over here on this side. Had to do that kind of compound angle on that one end. Left just a little bit of a gap on that end, not real happy with that, but it'll hide with a little bit of caulk there, so it wasn't worth taking it down and redoing it. So that takes care of the crown in here. Next, I think we'll move on and do some more casing around windows and doors.
All right, so we moved on to the front door, and we were feeling some cold air coming in around the door. So we are stuffing some foam in there to help with the insulation. And then we'll get the trim up. How's it going, honey?
Okay, it's kind of fiddly stuff. You gotta, work your way down and tuck it in, tuck it in, shove it in, and it's just kind of, pain in the butt. But I guess at some point they were gonna foam around it, but just never got done. So cold air is just rolling through there today, so we had to do something. And it's really too small for the foam nozzle to fit in. So one way to do it really is to tuck foam in there.
I thought they had done that, but obviously they didn't on the inside. Maybe a little bit on the outside, but I don't know. I know I had that conversation with them.
We got our insulation stuffed in there. As you can see, we use some of this closed cell foam stuff that is good for expansion joints and all sorts of stuff, and then some thinner stuff that we had to stuff in there. And I used a piece of backer rod way down there. But that took care of all the drafts around the front door. So now we're ready for some casing. Just had to beat the drywall a little bit there where it was sticking out. Got it leveled out with the edge of the window on the side light here. Same thing on this part. Got it leveled out with the trim there. So we're ready to put our casing on. Had to trim this piece of mahogany trim off just a little bit. For whatever reason, it was up 1/8 of an inch higher than this one. So our trim would have sat on there cockeyed, so I had to trim that off. Made use of the oscillating tool. I'll tell you, this is becoming one of my new favorite tools. If you don't have one in your toolbox, it's definitely something worth looking at. I don't know how I lived so long without one. They've been out for a while. I use the circular saw blade, or semi-circular saw, as this were, because it had the real fine tooth count for that mahogany. I was afraid to use anything too aggressive, might split it. So, got that all trimmed down. I'm gonna go ahead and get my first piece of casing cut, and then we'll get it nailed up here. All right, that's it for the front door casing. What do you think, hon?
It looks great.
Looks pretty awesome, doesn't it?
It does. Very good.
Amber's cleaning off a little paint there.
Yeah, I should have done that months ago, but...
Well, we've had a few other things going on.
I know.
Yeah, it looks really nice. It's amazing how much more finished the space gets. You get the crown in here and get the casing up. Get those switches out. Get our lights hung up in here. This place will be looking just about finished, won't it?
Almost.
All right, what's next?
I have no idea.
Fantastic. Let's get started. All right, we're going to regroup and then start another project, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so we moved over to this finished opening that's going to go into the dining room. And we're not doing any doors here. It's just going to be this nice cased opening. So we've been fiddling around with it, getting it fit in here. And we've got this side leveled up and nailed in. Now we've just got to double check our header and make sure that it's good and level. And then we'll make sure that this side is good and plumb, just like this side. Once that's all done, we'll go ahead and put some casing on. That'll look really good, won't it, huh? Looking tired.
I'm exhausted.
It's been a long weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Long 3 days.
But I tell you what, we've got some good work done here today, honey.
I know.
Between the casing and the crown, this room's gonna be looking really nice and tidy by the time we get finished up here. All right, well, let's go ahead and get this cased opening done, and then we'll wrap up for the evening. All right, we got the opening cased, and it looks fantastic. So that's gonna be our last project of the weekend. Man, it just makes such an amazing difference. If you look at an uncased opening, just how rough it is. You can see the rough framing. Of course, Amber painted all this stuff, so you really can't see it quite as much, but I mean, the rough framing and everything, it just, and the ragged edge of the drywall, it just makes it look really rough, obviously. And then when you get this cased opening up, man, it just looks so polished and finished. I mean, it's just so nice to see this coming together. So now we've got the crown running all the way around here, the cased openings. We've got the doorway, front door cased this weekend as well. And it looks fantastic. Love this return on this end of the crown molding here. That really looks nice. This opening, we're waiting on the actual casing for it. The folks that supplied all the woods for us, somehow that one got left off the order, so they're working on that one for us. And then I think I need the header piece for this cased opening here to be able to put it up. Other than that, I think we've got enough supplies to go ahead and get the rest of the downstairs taken care of. So that's really exciting. But it was a great weekend. We got a lot of stuff done. We got this window cased here in the family room. And then we got the 2 big sliders cased this weekend as well. And they just look amazing. Absolutely amazing. And of course the crown and everything done in here as well. So very, very productive all the way around. So that's gonna do it for the weekend. Gotta go home, get some rest, get some dinner, hang out with the kids a little bit, and get ready for the work week. We got a busy one coming up. I'll be down here this week. I know Amber will too, and knock some stuff out in the evenings. We're trying to work as hard as we can to get as much done as we can each week. We don't really have a hard deadline yet for move-in, but it's coming. We have our other house on the market, and we're hoping to get it sold sometime in the next, say, 6-8 weeks. And when that happens, we got to move in. So we're looking at maybe April, May as a move-in date. So we're really going to keep pushing as hard as we can to get that done. The gentleman that's been helping us with tile, Lawrence, is also going to help us with the hardwood floors. So that's really exciting. I think he'll be done with the master bath this week, and then he'll be ready to start on hardwood floors hopefully next week. So that's really going to fly. He can knock out a lot of hardwood floors every day. He and his helper, his wife, Stephanie, they can knock out a lot of hardwood floors every day. So I think that, they're going to fly through the upstairs, and then they'll be ready to come downstairs and start knocking out the big spaces, the kitchen, the family room. And as soon as that's done, we'll be ready to set cabinets in the kitchen and go ahead and get the rest of that area trimmed out. So, I mean, it's really going to come together pretty quickly, I think, over the next 3 to 4 weeks. We're going to see a lot of big changes. So keep tuning back in. Each episode, we're going to see some big improvements in the house really coming together. Exciting stuff. Be sure to hit that subscription button so you don't miss any of those upcoming episodes. Give us a like if you would, please. Always happy to get those. Got any comments or questions? Be sure to leave those down below. And as always, share the channel with your friends and family, coworkers, people on the street. random strangers at the airport, whoever. If you think they're into DIY, spread the word about Woodmere State Revival. We'll see you guys again real soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.